Hello everybody, this is Blundered Games, and today I have procured a tier list of 20 different openings that you can probably not play in your games. Personally, I would only pick the top 4 or 5, but uh, who knows, you might be playing a refuted opening and not know it. So, I should probably explain what the tiers mean. Now, never play means, well, exactly what it means. Don't play it. Trash just means there's one little gimmick in there, but there's not much redeeming value to it. Okay just means either I don't understand it, it's very difficult to play, or I just don't like it. And dubious but good is when a line is technically refuted, but it is actually a good way to play against things because there are just so many trappy lines. And perfection is exactly what it entails. Stockfish approved, many trappy lines, very forcing. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Alright, so starting off with a rather terrible fucking opening, the Damiano defense. Now this is actually an opening for black, so I suppose we'll switch around. Now e4, e5, knight f3 is played by white, and we play f6. This is a horrible opening. Why? Because he can take on e5. Brilliant sacrifice. Because now, when we take back, horrible idea by the way, queen h5 check. g6 here, we block, and we've lost a rook already. It's +5, we've lost, and there's just nothing we can do. There's no redeeming value to this, no redeeming qualities. We fucked up, and we're dead. So that is why you don't play the Damiano again. Sorry, the Damiano defense, right? So that's why it's in the never play tier. Now, moving on to a bit of a more defensive opening, the cow. Start off with the Van Cruz, d5, and d3. This is a horrible opening. Why? Because it is so fucking defensive. The way it's supposed to be played is just this. Look at this setup. So hyper modern, so horrible, and it actually gives black an advantage. The only time you would ever play this is if you wanted to play a computer that some high schooler made and you just wanted to avoid giving him any tactical possibilities. That's it. That's the only reason you play this, ever. It's just horrible. It's just that bad. So don't play that. Now, Fromm's Gambit. This one is another opening as black, so we're going to switch around. White's going to start off with the bird's opening. Now, this is actually the most common response from beginners, but notice that white is already back with an advantage. Here, and queen h4 check is the main idea. Here, here, and we have this, and it's mate. Oh no. Now, why is it so advantageous for black? For white if he can't take the queen? Why is it +2? Well, knight f3. And boom, we're forced away. Like, maybe here or something, and we're just going to get kicked around. It's going to be very, very sad, and we're not going to have much of an advantage. We're down a pawn. We've lost development. This queen is probably going to get trapped somehow. Like, there's literally just d5. Like, it's not even a good move, but he doesn't need to play good shit. And it's just going to be very, very easy for this man to win. So that is why the Fromm's Gambit is actually very, very bad to play, despite having that nice little checkmate trap. So stop giving people little wins against that. Now, the 4 knights opening. This is actually an opening as white, so we are going to switch around again. Now, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, defending the pawn is what is played by black. Knight f3 is the 3 knights, and he responds with knight to f6, the 4 knights. And if we play bishop to c4, which is the main line, well, guess what happens? Black can brilliantly sacrifice a knight. Sure, it says book move, whatever. Knight takes e4 and d5, and boom, and boom, and look, it's -2, and black's up a pawn. There's just nothing we can do about it. It's very, very bad. Right, and it's even worse if white doesn't play queen to e2. Right, so not a good opening at all to play if you are white. Hence white's in the trash tier. Now, moving on to something that grandmasters would actually play, even if it is very much refuted. We're going to be switching to black yet again. And this gambit actually got a grandmaster banned from chess.com for cheating. Now, how could a simple gambit do that? Well, watch and learn. Every game, this man named Visu would sacrifice the rook for the relative value a bishop has in the opening. He has very little development here. He has very little material. But somehow he would win all the time because a bishop just controls more squares in the short term than the rook, because it's very difficult for a rook to apply pressure in the opening when there are so many pawns around. Hence why he would somehow win most of his games with upwards of 90 accuracy. Magnus Carlsen actually tried this and he won, I think, 10 out of 11 matches in Title Tuesday, but if you're not the world champion, maybe don't play this because you can't convert relative value that easily. Now the Polish opening. We were actually going to be switching to white yet again. This is b4. Now e5, hitting our pawn with a discovered attack. Bishop b2, takes, and there's really no opening theory, but it's slightly advantageous for black. If you know you're playing against someone who knows a lot of opening theory, like me, then maybe this is a good gambit for you to play because it takes your opponent out of theory very quickly, and even though it gives the opponent a slight advantage, it is not going to be very easy to know any theory in this position, hence why some people actually go for this. Now, onto something that I actually used to play, which is the Halloween Gambit. Ooh, spooky. Now, this is yet another opening as white. Now, yes, we are going to start off with an opening that was in trash tier, but we're not going to play the Italian variation this time. Instead, we're going to blunder the knight. This is not a sacrifice, this is a blunder. But this is the most common line below 100 rating points. Sorry, below 800 rating points. And I mean, now it's actually very good for white. Here. I mean, it's I'm sorry, it's not a3. What am I doing? So I believe it's queen to b5. I'm sorry, bishop d2. And now if takes, then we take back. And well, we're gonna be winning back the knight, or at least getting a nice little advantage here. Positionally, I mean, it's very difficult to play. You can study a lot here. It's very, very difficult to learn all the theory here. And even though the main line does give white a very delicate advantage, I do not recommend playing this because it is very, very delicate, as I just said. And it's very scary for you to play. And even though we can't develop, you're just down so much material and it's not going to work out too well, generally. So that is the Halloween Gambit. Now, onto the London system. This is another opening with white. d4, d5, bishop f4, and we have the accelerating London. And now, if black plays something like this, we're just going to get this nice little formation here, and whatever he does, we just get everything out, and I mean, it's gonna be fine, I guess. Not going to be too much. It's going to be very, very boring, very positional. Just rather annoying. It's not going to do too much. I mean, then there's like here and boom. Now there's like knight to h5, I believe. I forget. Sorry, h6. Yeah, it's h6. Okay, but it's just very, very positional. Just a system opening. You're gonna get this bishop in the center, nice little pyramid formation, and you're going to be able to do a fair amount from there. But always be aware that someone may try to double your pawns somehow. If something like this is not the right way to play this. Still, I mean, knight takes d5 is on the board, but I'm just giving an example here. Then, you know, just takes. I mean, you lose the bishop. It's just a very boring opening. There's not much about the London that I'm really a fan of. Personally, if I ever face that, I just play the Indian game, sorry. King's Indian, and, well, people generally don't know what to do there. Now, the Englund Gambit. This is actually as black. Now, the only reason that this is so high up, you know, okay and not trash, is because the refutation is actually a little difficult to find. And so it can be useful in blitz, as Levy-Rosman says. And so bishop d2 is the only real move there. And knight c3 is actually acceptable, apparently. But some people actually do block with a pawn, and you immediately lose a bishop, and it's +3, right? Because it's triple fork. So bishop d2, here, bishop b4, and well, it's not great because, you know, checkmate, right? And so Magnus actually played queen to d2 here when he was, I believe, 8? Yeah. So after this, he played here. He got pinned, and to avoid losing the queen and the bishop, this is what he did. Takes, and he got checkmated in 8 moves. Very, very sadly. And now this is actually refuted because look at this. This happens if you try to take here. we do not get the bishop out, we instead bring the knight in. If here, trying to go for this little trap where you win the queen, just knight d4, and here, the thing is, you can often burn a lot of people's time down like that in blitz, but it's not good for anything else. Don't play this opening unless it's in blitz or bullet. You know, it's actually so good in blitz and bullet that Levi Rosman plays it, but I don't. So now on to something that grandmasters will play not as a joke. The Scotch game. This is only an okay tier because I hate how boring it is. And we do not play the Scotch Gambit, instead we just trade everything in the center. And now the main trap here is just knight f6, you get kicked away, and, well, I mean, you're +2, you have everything in the center. You're just doing very well. Knight c3, you have more development than the opponent, and you can play for a win here generally. But still, not my favorite. Now, onto something that I would be willing to play, but don't, is the Alien Gambit. Now, we're going to go with the Caro-Kann here, d5, and this weird move, knight to c3. Now, takes, offering a trade, and here. Now, if h6, the main line is actually to take, blundering the knight, not sacrificing. Now here, knight f3, bishop g4, and then there's this, boom, boom. It's just very trappy. There's a lot of traps in it. Really, I only know a couple, but there are actually enough traps in it to keep grandmasters and even super grandmasters like Hikaru Nakamura on their toes, as evidenced by the YouTube channel Witty Alien. Now, I don't recommend playing like he does, but you certainly can. Now, onto the Breyer variation. This one is less refuted. Now, Caro-Kann, here, I'm sorry, it's not even that, it's d3. Takes, here, this, and now if you try to kick the knight out, we sacrifice, boom, just attraction, sacrifice, we win the queen, and same thing if you try, like, knight here, boom, or, I mean, the only real move here is knight to d7. It's whatever. Right? I mean, it's... We just have a game of chess. And it's all winning for black, though. It's all winning. So, I recommend playing that at any level below 1400, but anything above that, it's a little risky. Now, Furowitz. This is once again something for black, so we are going to switch colors. Starting off with the Indian game, which I actually play. Now, I like a nice little wagon gambit here, but we're not going to go into that. It's a very complex opening. Budapest Gambit, and now the Furowitz. Now, if knight to c3, we play bishop b4, and if he attacks, you take, attacking the queen, takes, it's a fork, you win the rook, and you're going to be winning this game most likely. And that's just one of many traps, but we're not going to get into all of that because I want to keep this video relatively short. Now, on to the Bush Gas Gambit. This is very dubious. You're going to lose a lot when you play this, but it's very fun. Now, bishop of c5. A lot of people will actually be very afraid to take this, and they'll play bishop c4, and then they'll take, but this is still the main line, so don't worry. So knight c6, if he takes with a knight, you're going to sacrifice here. If he doesn't take, you get the queen out of the way. Here, common blunder is bishop takes d5, because now the queen is trapped. Now you're probably thinking, why would they not take the bishop? Well, this is very similar to the Traxler, in which case the main idea is to not take the bishop, right? Because if you take the bishop, you end up getting checkmated in that line. And so g3 is the main line here, but I actually found myself facing queen to e2 in this position, which actually equalizes very quickly. So I played knight to d4. He played queen to f1, which is actually technically the best move. I played rook to f8. And so then he played this, I believe. I'm sorry. No, he played, let's see, what was it? Let me go to Opening Explorer. Not Master Games, go to My Games. Is black. Okay, bishop to b3 is what he played. Why he played this, I don't know, but I played d6. He played d3. I brilliantly sacked my knight, because he's forced to take here, and I had a nice easy checkmate. Now what if he takes with the bishop? Well, if he takes with the bishop, what you do is you go here. There's this, and now I believe d4 is the main idea, but knight c3 is actually a very common move here. I'm sorry, not common at all. What am I talking about? I must be fucking drunk or something. I'm sorry. Kind of sick right now. 99.7 degree fever, but whatever. Bishop takes d4 is... Oh, I know it wasn't even that. It was to take. It was to take. That was what it was. Here, and bishop all the way back to b3 is a blunder because of bishop to g4. And now after f3, we actually have knight takes e4, brilliantly sacrificing, well, a lot of things in this position. Because now if he takes here, you obviously win the queen. If he takes here, then I believe that is actually going to be checkmate if he doesn't play g3. And so, wait, I'm sorry, it's not even takes. Bishop f2, and if he goes up, you take this. If he goes this way, then you take this, which forces him here. And then here, he can't go back because then you win the queen, right? But if he plays king to g3, then that's going to be a nice little mate in 2 here. And that is going to win you the game. Now, that will conclude the Bush-Gas Gambit onto a very rare opening for white this time, the ready. Now, black's going to seize some space in the center. We're going to sack a pawn. He'll take, because there's not really anything behind it. We're just going to play knight to e5. A very trappy line. Queen to d4 is forking us. Doesn't seem like there's any way to get out of it. But now we're going to play bishop b2, and if he takes, watch that eval bar soar, because here, and if he plays anything random, then knight back to c4 is actually going to trap the queen. So queen to a3 is going to be what it's generally played. Now bishop b5 check is an intermezzo, so we can have the bishop on this side of the knight. Knight c6 generally happens. Here, queen b4, and now we have a3, which is beautifully trapping the queen. But what if bishop d7? Then here, queen b4, takes, and now a3 once again. And so what if knight d7, huh? What if knight d7? Well, that's fine. We have here, and even but instead of a3, if you want to be really cool, then knight d5, and takes. It's a fork. King gets out. You win the queen, and your opponent will cry. Now that's the Bloodgood Gambit. You really got to study that one because there's a lot of shit the opponent could play. But the Orthosnap Gambit is what's next. This is the last of the dubious but good tier, and we are getting into the absolute perfection very soon. Now, the Orthosnap Gambit. This is highly refuted. You probably shouldn't play this, but I do. You know, these are all natural moves. Just taking the pawn here. Defending the pawn is actually a blunder. Queen f6 is best. Because now, queen takes b7. If here to save the rook, then here, this is the only move, and you brilliantly sacrifice your bishop. Because if he takes, then you take the queen, right? So what if the opponent decides, okay, well, I don't have to take. Well, guess what? You do, because that's mate. There are actually a lot of traps in this opening, but that's the main one. That's the main one. Now, onto the von Henik. This is another thing against the Caro-Kann. Yes, I have a lot of those. But here, yes, to move knight c3 again. I know, we seem to really like that one. Bishop c4 on Henik. On that we sack. Here, takes, and most people will have to win, even a couple masters will decide to do that. Knight to e5 is an excellent, brilliant move because here, and it's checkmate. This is actually still winning if he plays bishop b6, but it's a little more solid. So instead of that, you decide you want to play something more solid. Then here, takes, check. Here, it's a fork, similar to that gambit thing that I showed earlier. And now you should be very much winning. Now, onto the Byrne gambit. Now, I know we all hate the pair defense, we hate the French, we all hate all that. Very defensive, we don't like it. But here, he tries to shadow, this happens, here, push, takes, takes the queen. These are all very natural moves. Now he gets denied danger, and h6 is the move here. Because now if he takes this pawn, we have knight to d5, and there's no way to stop this fork from happening. He can go here, but it's intermezzo, here, boom, and ignore the fact that it's actually mate in one, but whatever. And so What if he plays h6 too? Well, takes knight d5 anyways, because now if he takes our rook, then that is going to be a mate in 2. Boom. And so we have to end like this or something. Intermezzo again. Boom. It's not mate this time. Still rook d8 is better, but well, whatever. We'll play rook d8. And, so then here, boom. You've won the rook. It's very much winning, and you're going to beat a lot of players like that. It's actually very common that they'll fall into that. You can look. You can check the Lee Chess database or even the chess.com opening explorer. Now, onto my personal favorite opening, even though it is a little worse than the Haxo, which is our final opening. We are going to start off with the Scotch. E4, E5, here, 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 and we're not going to play the Scotch game like we did earlier. We're going to play the Scotch Gambit. So now, knight f6, trying to win back that pawn, and we're going to castle. And if he takes here, this pin actually isn't much of a worry because they have d5, and takes, and this is just the Anderson attack, and boom, there we are. We have some of that, and maybe that's going to be a very nice little thing, but it's very equal, and we just have a game of chess. So instead, I like to blunder the knight. This is not a joke. We sack. Here, king e8 is, well, it's basically the only move that he has that doesn't lose, except king f6. It says it's the best. Sometimes it says it's not. Sometimes it says king f6 is better, but whatever. Rook e1 is the only move that is even possible to play. And it's actually very trappy here, because if he tries to play anything like just this, you immediately lose. And if you try to block with the bishop, then there's you're just going to lose this pawn, and we're going to mount a lot of pressure on here, and it's going to be very difficult to do anything. Right? It's just it's a nice little attack. So because of that, you have to play queen to f6. Here, you have to play queen to f7 here, and you have to block with the bishop here, and you have to play queen to e6. You can't just take here, because you lose your queen in with check, and now whatever. And so Stockfish will actually play this line, hence how I was able to draw Stockfish in one of my earlier videos. I highly recommend you go check that out. And this line is just so damn forcing that even Stockfish will play it. It's just so forcing because the opponent absolutely has to play perfectly, otherwise he will lose everything that he owns. Right, and this is just what Stockfish plays 100% of the time against me. Boom, boom, this happens. King f1 is actually bad. Nobody knows why though, so we can all just tell Stockfish to fuck itself. Here, here, it's what it plays 100% of the time, and well, this is going to be a drawn endgame. It's opposite colored bishops, and it's just drawn. So there's not going to be anything that the opponent can really do against this. In fact, it's actually so feared by the world champion, Magnus Carlsen, that he will actually decline it. He'll play knight to d6. He will decline the Nakhmanson gambit. Nakhmanson gambit declined, and I have no idea what to do here. I mean, probably just takes here, but whatever. Right, there's just a very, very difficult opening to play against. Now, on to our final opening, which is the the Haxo Gambit. And this one is just an integral opening if you want to reach 1500 or even 1600 elo, is what I would say. Because we're going to start off with something very similar, right? And so, going to play bishop c4. Ugh, no, get out of here. Ugh. I'm sorry, I'm not used to this interface. And so if here, the Haxo takes is the most common move, and we sacrifice the bishop, queen d5, this is going to be a fork, we actually have intermezzo in this case though, boom, d6 or something, then we're just going to take this pawn, we're going to be very happy about that. And if he takes here, we're just going to attack the rook here, and castles is not a free pawn because we can pin, and it's actually +5. Yeah. These are all very natural moves, and you can even get some 2000s like this. It's just a very, very easy gambit to fall for, very, very easy gambit to memorize, hence why I play it. Now, that will be the conclusion of this video. Thank you all for watching. This has been Blundered Games. Thank you all so much for everything you do. Now, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment. And if you would like to receive lessons on opening theory, just tag me in a comment. I'll reply, and we can talk. This has been Blundered Games, signing off.